Welcome back to another episode of Homestead Road News. I'm Devin Walton, and today I'm taking you through the biggest real estate changes happening across Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Florida, especially Tampa Bay, where the market is going through one of its biggest transitions in years. Since November 18th, we've seen home prices shift, rents soften, construction slow across Minnesota, and Wisconsin is picking up a surprising wave of Minnesota buyers. Meanwhile, Florida continues dealing with insurance turbulence that is reshaping home ownership. There's a lot to unpack, so let's jump into our first story. Here in Minnesota, home prices keep rising as buyers return and the sellers finally step forward. So let's start right here. So over the past couple of months, the Twin Cities market has been moving in a really interesting direction. So home prices continue to rise, even though the number of sales is still lower than what we'd normally expect. The main reason? Inventory is still extremely tight. Most areas sit at around 2 months of supply, far from a balanced market or far from the 6 months that we're used to seeing and really need to see for a balanced market. But something big has shifted since mid-November. More homeowners are finally listing their homes. People have realized in those incredibly low 2020 to 2021 mortgage rates, they're 2.5% to 3% mortgages, they're finally realizing that life changes are more important to them than holding on to those ultra low interest rates. New jobs, expanding families, downsizing, life is simply still moving forward. So interest rates dipping back into the high 6% range has also brought buyers back. Showings jumped leading into Thanksgiving, and they stayed strong through early December and January. Buyers today are very selective. Updated move-in ready homes are getting strong attention, while homes that need work are still sitting longer. So if you're thinking about selling and your home needs repairs and you don't want to deal with those repairs, Homestead Road is here to help you. We buy homes in as-is condition on your schedule. Visit homesteadroad.com and ask for a valuation today. Now let's talk rentals, and this is a big one. Minnesota's rental landscape has changed dramatically since November. Downtown Minneapolis and St. Paul are experiencing some of the highest vacancy rates we've seen in years. If you've walked around the North Loop or Loring Park, you've probably noticed banners offering 6 to 8 weeks of free rent, free parking, and reduced deposits. A lot of that comes down to oversupply. Developers poured thousands of new luxury units into the market between 2021 and 2024. These buildings are beautiful, rooftop lounges, gyms, co-working areas, but there just aren't enough renters to fill them at premium prices. Meanwhile, the suburbs are seeing the exact opposite. Areas like Maple Grove and Woodbury, Lakeville, and Eagan remain strong with stable rents and fewer concessions. Many renters are choosing bigger spaces, quieter neighborhoods, and easier parking. On top of that, the Minneapolis rent control debate is heating back up. Depending on what the city decides, this could have major implications for future construction, investor interest, and long-term rental growth. So to stay on top of the trends like this, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Construction always slows down in the winter, but this year has been different. I've talked with multiple builders who said this winter has been one of the most challenging in years. First, we had early cold snaps that froze job sites before projects even got off the ground. That alone delayed timelines across the Twin Cities. Next, materials still aren't where they should be. Lumber costs are elevated again. Electrical components have gone up in price as well. Copper is more expensive, and some household items like garage doors or HVAC systems are hitting delays again. Labor shortages are also a big factor. Skilled workers like electricians, carpenters, concrete crews are stretched way thin, which slows everything down. Financing is another challenge. Developers are facing higher interest rates and stricter underwriting, pushing some of these smaller builders to pause projects until spring. But there is a bright spot. Build-to-rent communities are thriving. Cities like Lakeville, Rogers, Blaine, and Woodbury are seeing neighborhoods built specifically for renters who want the feel of a single-family home without the long-term maintenance. If your home needs repairs and you'd rather avoid construction challenges altogether, or even city inspections, Homestead Road is here to help. Visit homesteadroad.com for a simple as-is selling experience. Minnesotans are crossing the border now more than ever before. So let's jump off across the border with them. That shift is happening right here, right now, and it's been pretty remarkable. So since late November, cities like Hudson, River Falls, New Richmond, Somerset, St. Croix, Prescott, they've seen a noticeable increase in Minnesota buyers. Real estate agents are even calling it a migration wave. There are several reasons for this. First, Wisconsin property taxes are often significantly lower, anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 less per year than comparable Minnesota homes. Second, home prices in western Wisconsin are typically more affordable. Buyers can often get newer homes, more square footage, and larger lots at a better price. New construction is more attainable there too. Builders in Wisconsin say many of their winter buyers are coming from Minnesota because they get more bang for their buck. Hybrid and remote work does play a big role in this as well. Many Minnesotans only commute 1 or 2 days a week, making Hudson or New Richmond an easy choice. Wisconsin's rental market is also tighter and more stable. Investors who feel uncertain about Minnesota's rent control situation, both in Minneapolis and St. Paul, discussions are moving their focus over to Wisconsin, where rents are steadier, regulations are more predictable, and maybe even less of a problem. Remember to like and subscribe to our website so that you can keep abreast of more changes like this that are happening in your area. Finally, let's head down to Florida, specifically the Tampa Bay area, where the market is undergoing a major reset. Roughly 85% of homes across Tampa are now valued below their pandemic-era peaks. In New Tampa, median townhome prices have fallen from around $305,000 in 2003 and 4 to $284,000 today. Inventory is rising too, hitting about a 3 to 4 month supply, which is much closer to a balanced market than we've seen in years. But the real story in Florida continues to be insurance. Homeowners are facing premiums that can reach $5,000 to $6,000 a year, depending on the home's location, age, and roof condition. Some insurance carriers have tightened their underwriting rules, and others have left the state entirely. Buyers are now getting insurance quotes before even submitting an offer. That's how big of a factor this has become. Homes in higher risk flood zones or coastal areas are sitting on the market longer, where inland homes are still moving pretty steadily. Despite these challenges, Tampa Bay continues to attract new residents from the Midwest, Northeast, and beyond. That wraps up this extended edition of Homestead Road News. I'm Devin Walton, and as always, thank you for spending your time with me. Stay warm, stay informed, and most of all, like and subscribe to our website. Now, just as a quick note, homesteadroad.com is where you can get help for selling your home to us and asking for help from Homestead Road. You can also visit us at hsrrealestate.com, where you can see some of the homes that we have for sale. See you next time in our next episode.